Good morning, Kerri.
Good morning, Gina, and everyone on the call. Our final coffee Q&A for ARC for this moment in time. There may be more in the future. We'll figure it out.
We
So-
might ask everyone what they'd like to see next and then plan accordingly.
Yeah. Letters of intent were due last Friday. I think we ended up with 27. So great job, everybody. If you missed the letter of intent, no big deal. You can still submit a pre-app. Those are due May 24th. So I was just gonna quickly go over the timeline from this point forward on ARC and then just open it up for any conversation about this program or maybe ones that we have that you would like to learn more about. So, navigating our webpage. Go to Services, Economic Community Development, and then the second option is the ARC. I kind of went over this in the first Q&A, but we still have some people having trouble finding things, so I figured I'd go over it quickly again. We have 2 pages. This first page is general information about the program, about projects they like to see, things of that nature about OVRDC, what a local development district is. And then to get to the second page that has all of the pre-application documents, this ready to apply is a button to move you on to the second page. The second page is where you're going to find everything for your pre-applications. So I'm going to go to the middle of the page here. And then you have our progressive timeline. May 24th is the deadline for the pre-applications to OVRDC. Both pre-application packets are directly below this arrow graphic. You have your construction pre-application, you have your non-construction pre-application. The guideline to filling it out, the booklet is in front of the pieces of the application itself and on these links. May through June, us at OVRDC will score the projects. The rating sheet is also linked right underneath this graphic. So you can see the actual score sheet we're going to use to score your project. You can use it to score it yourself and try to see where you can make your points, get more points, improve your application. And then June through the July, we will be having our second round caucus meetings. And what these are for is normally if a county has more than one ARC project submitted, we will come out to that county, we'll hold a meeting, and you will prioritize the projects that have been submitted from your county. And we do priority first, second, and third, and those projects will gain extra points on the scoring because it has been deemed priority by your county. And then we'll also go over quickly our other programs too. And then August 29th this year is our executive committee meeting, where the final list of all the projects that have been ranked will be approved. I do have a list of the projects from last year and their rankings. This year I plan to, once OVRDC scores the projects, we're going to post the raw scores on the website, and it'll be in this area as well. So whenever you go into your county caucus and your priority rankings, you can see the projects that were submitted this year and where they're standing currently at raw score. Those scores will not include the priority bonus points from the county. So, but it's a good way for you to see what has been submitted and kind of strategize on your priorities to try to get your projects towards the top of the list. September 1st, the letter of intent for next year's funding will be made available. And also we will start going from the top of our scored list and start soliciting for full applications. We get as far as we can with the funding that we have. We have state and federal pots of money. We have distressed for the stress designated counties. So we try to get as far as we can with the funds that we have. Review time has been longer than usual. ACGP is constricting a lot of that. There's just so many grant funds and so many projects going on that review has been slow. So we're kind of hesitant to estimate on, how fast the review process will happen. We try to get it through as quickly as possible. The state federal fiscal year is July 1 through June 30th. The federal fiscal year is October 1st through the end of September. So that you got to take that into account too. If you're asked for a full application, normally we'll let you know whether your project is going state or federal. So just keep those dates in mind. The federal does not start until October 1, whereas the state funds are available July 1st. So state funds kind of move faster than federal. But because we are a planning organization, we're always kind of a fiscal year ahead on our ARC applications. So we try to have everything in and ready for the following fiscal year. So there's kind of that delay there as well. So starting September 1, we'll be reaching out to the projects that scored the top and seeing if you have your match together and if your project's ready to roll, and we'll start submitting full applications for review. Please do not start any work on your project until you have your executed grant agreement. And if there's an environmental review that's going to be triggered by your project, you have to wait till your release of funds. Anything done before that, either won't be reimbursable, or it may even kick out the ARC funds totally because the process was bypassed. So just work with us, keep us in contact. Or if you are assigned a project manager through ARC, stay in contact with them. Make sure you're following the guidelines and you don't lose funds. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over today. Last week we went page by page over the pre-application. We forgot to record that, so we're going to re-record it, and we're going to have that posted as soon as we can. That's all I have. If anybody has any questions, comments, discussion?
I went ahead and submitted our letter of intent. I'm not sure that the one I submitted for is going to move forward. We are so far behind the 8 ball. It's been one of those things that, we've been kicking around, and we've been working with the Department of Development for some different funds. And I'm trying to look at all of our different options to get it funded, but it's going to be quite the pricey project. And so I don't know. And Hillsborough, I did not think Hillsborough had submitted anything. I've not talked to Greenfield to see if they submitted anything, but I didn't think they had. And then Sean called me. I was over there yesterday, and he said, I guess we did. I guess Kirby had started that before she left the city. So DLZ had that and had gone ahead and supposedly submitted that for them. So I'm not real sure what we're going to do, but you have my letter of intent, but I don't know it's going to go any further.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just keep us updated. Maybe something will come through, and if it does, then we can move forward with the pre-application. Or if you think it's going to take another year, you can update your LOI and submit it for fiscal year 26 on September 1st.
Okay, well, thank you.
John, do you have any ARC knowledge you want to share?
I would just say right before this Zoom meeting, Kerri and I were talking about another project. I won't name the project or the firm that we are going to be working with. It's an engineering firm, but I thought it was telltale what Kerri heard from that engineering firm. We are in strange times. Yeah, there's a lot of money to access, but everybody's feeling the pressure, not just you at the local level, but the engineering firms, contractors. It's unlike I've ever seen in my 33 years of working in this industry. And I told Kerri this past week, I said, I don't always feel like I have an answer for her anymore, because the answers that were true 5 years ago aren't true today. And it's not because things have changed. It's just things are so busy. So my wisdom, if I have any, would be patient with Kerri, because she's doing a great job for us, but sometimes, 5 years ago, we could have probably given you a pretty definitive answer. You'll have your grant agreement between July and September. Now, I hate to say it, sometimes our answer is we don't know, and we literally don't. It's crazy. But that's the world we live in today. So I would just ask you all to be patient with Kerri, because she's doing a bang up job, but her hands are tied somewhat because of other stuff going on. And I would put ACGP as one thing that's at the forefront that's causing a lot of this. So just be patient with her. She knows what she's doing, but she may not appear she does, but that's not on her.
I know less than Kerri has even ever probably forgotten. So I appreciate any advice and help I can get, because we had, I don't know if you saw, but we had Lydia Mahalik here Thursday, and we had a huge ag event Friday, and we were trying to get ready for the governor on Monday. So my letter of intent was certainly at the 11th hour and probably not my best work. So I apologize for that, Kerri.
No, you're fine. I tell everybody, the letter of intent is just, it's just saying, hey, we have a project, this is an idea that we have, or we have one in the works, and we want to let you know about it. So, whatever stage the project's in, it's good to send one in. Even if you don't think that you're gonna go through with the funding in that year, at least it's on our radar, and we can I try my best to answer every letter of intent. I try to send you other resources, maybe other grant programs that would, match with the ARC funds, information on filling out your pre-application, what'll make it stronger. ARC has tons of materials on their website now. Like, they've really done a really good job updating things and putting more information out. So, even if you think, ARC is not going to work for us this year, well, maybe I found something through development, or maybe I found something through ODNR, some other form that may fit your project. So if nothing else, in that way, it can set you up for maybe the following year to where it's stronger. So that's kind of what the LOI for us, that's what we're using it for. I've sent some to Stephanie here in our office for transportation. If I feel it's a transportation related that's come through ARC, I share that with her. Infrastructure type projects, if I feel like Ohio Public Works may be a fit, I'm going to share those with Kim. So the letter of intent's kind of like, hey, OVRDC, we have this project. It may be good this year, it may not, but we want to get it on your radar. So I'm so thankful that, we had so many sent in.
Ginger's comment in the chat, so many working parts and variables. And I was just, since we have John and Kerri both, and I'm not in the planning department, talk a little bit on the basics of how you put funding together and stack it up. It's interesting to me how a lot of people collaborate and come together, like Julie's talking about her big project. And sometimes I've seen 3 and 4 different funding partners. Just briefly talk about that, maybe.
Part of it, that's something I think a lot. That's a good point, Gina. And sometimes we don't talk about that. Maybe we assume people understand that, or we just forget to say it. But you marry up funding, so you don't have to look at us and say, "Oh, I want to get an ARC grant," and that's one grant, and then I got to go over here to Department of Ag and get a grant, or USDA, what have you. You can marry up funding. I would say if you're a community, and it's particularly small communities like a village, probably your best asset there is Ohio RCAP, which is the Rural Communities Assistance Program. They work for free because they the funders, Ohio EPA and USDA, pay them to do that very thing. And it's only for water and wastewater. They won't help you with a park or something like that. It's just water and wastewater. But still, communities have those issues, and they're good at marrying up all this funding that's available for that type of project, water or wastewater. If you get a good consulting engineer, they can be also good at that. Now they're going to charge you. And they can certainly, with that, you're spreading that out. They could help you with park, they could help you with whatever your project is. But a lot of them know the funding sources and when to apply and how to marry those up. That's the key, which is what's making it hard now for Kerri, is with these long drug out approvals. When you try to do what I just said, you try to marry up different funding, and you're basing your decision, like go for OPWC this round and go for ARC this round, and they'll come together and get approved about the same time. Well, that's not working now because the way things are being drug out on approvals. And I don't think ARC is alone on this. I think it's a lot of agencies, but you can do that. But we're just in weird times, so it just makes it more difficult. And we can help with that here too. I know Kim has worked on that in the past in our office. I've done it. My days are numbered, but still I can help you with that, trying to figure out when do you want to apply for this funding or that funding to go for a project and line that up. But like I said, some of it's not so scientific anymore because the delays we are currently experiencing.
Thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for answering all my stupid questions.
No, there are no stupid questions.
I remind the commissioners every time they throw one of these on my desk. I said, do you remember when you hired me? You told everybody in the room, now she is not your grant writer.
I think I've learned more from getting the questions, than just sitting here doing the research that I normally do anyway, because most of the time the questions are not normal, everyday circumstances. And so it makes me look outside of the box. And so I've learned a lot of questions and researching and then asking questions myself. Normally when I get the questions here, I'll go to GOA or I'll go to ARC Federal and I'll re-ask the question to someone that knows more than I do. So
Kerri likes to remind me that there's a spot on my job description that says other duties as assigned.
here, John.
We have that here too.
I reminded him that I worked here 3 years before they finally gave me a job description, but they made sure that line was in bold. That's what keeps the days interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of partnering up funds, I'm going to put a few links in the chat. The first one is going to be the Ohio Grant Portal. These are things that they have open through a multitude of different state agencies. I've been on this website a lot lately, trying to find things that may be useful to people who've submitted LOIs. And then Eli, if you want to put EDA's link to NOFOs in there. And I'm also going to, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of grants.gov, but this is going to be your federal opportunities, and there are a multitude. They're up to 99 pages right now of forecasted and posted opportunities.
Kerri, you said NOFOs. What's a NOFO?
Notice of funding opportunities. We love acronyms and sometimes we forget.
John, you mentioned, or I think you did too, Kerri, the RCAP is only water and wastewater, and great for villages and things of that sort. So we think that might be a good opportunity for the letter of intent I submitted for Leesburg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Have them,
What the city of Hillsborough is doing with theirs is really, it's vital to be funded and to be completed if in fact they get funded through ACGP, because it's going to build all that infrastructure that is right there beside where they're going to build the amphitheater and have that space down there. So I told the commissioners, I said, there's plenty of money out there. We all need to share. And so if I withdraw ours that I submitted last Friday, if I withdraw ours to try to get them as many points as they can. And again, like I said, I don't know what Lynch Greenfield is doing. I haven't talked to them, so I don't know what they've submitted. But when it comes to trying to get points for our county projects, I think the commissioners do a pretty good job of trying to put their support behind something that is really the most urgent or the most transformational at that time. So mine might get kicked out, but there's other opportunities to get it funded.
I think think of that letter of intent to anytime you've got a project, really what we're doing there, like if you heard Kerri early on, she said it's not required, you can still submit a pre-app. So anybody that doesn't do it, it's not a penalty. You get 10 points on the rating sheet for doing it. And it's just a way for us to know you intend to apply by May 24th with a pre-app. And we're going to walk you through, you can talk to us about, well, we're going to read what you're saying you're going to do, give you an assessment of, is that going to fare well? Are you asking, is the entity that's requesting funds a legal applicant? Is the scope of work in the view of ARC things they want to fund at this time? So it's more or less just helping us, giving us a chance to help you make a better project application. That's really what we're striving for. So just keep that in mind on those letters of intent. And yeah, if you don't apply, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
We've had a little bit of a history, I guess, why we did this. Jessica and I talked about it, and we had it in place and perfected. And but we had it in place because of the fact we were getting applications that had no chance at all to be funded by ARC. Just people randomly shooting stuff in. And I was like, we need to somehow counsel people before we just set this deadline and they submit something that's not worth reviewing even. And I guess I don't like to spin my wheels. I value my time. So I don't want to lead somebody on. And I know this makes people mad sometimes that if you're telling them no out of the chute, I get evil looks by people. Kerri and I went to a meeting that I said no, and these people, their jaws dropped, I guess, but I'd rather tell you a frank point of fact than waste your time writing an application and leading you on like it's the best thing since sliced bread when it's not, and it's not going to get funded, and you wasted all that valuable time. So if I appreciate my time, I appreciate yours too. If you don't want to listen to me, you don't have to, but you're going to get it straight from us.
I appreciate it because ain't nobody got time to spin their wheels.
Thank you. Yes, I agree.
That's for sure. And normally it's not just a straight no either. I'll try to find somewhere or somebody that can lead you in the right direction for your project. I don't want to just leave it dead in the water, but there are times that ARC, we know it's not going to go anywhere. And so leading you in a different direction You're still welcome to apply for ARC, but it's just a lot of work to be at the bottom.
Kerri, can I get a grant to pay off my home mortgage, my truck and tractor?
No, I already did that this year, sorry. I took that money.
She took all the money, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
You can submit a letter of intent for next year possibly.
Okay.
And it may or may
She-
not be in the recycling.
She just gave me a hard no. Did you hear that? There was no alternative. They're like, well, you go check with.
Continue
She's
to
not
make your
wasting your
payments.
time. She's not wasting your time.
Continue to make your payments to the local bank.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
I
thanks for your
appreciate
time,
everybody
guys.
hanging in there.
These are always really nice and laid back, and I always learn something. So we'll keep it going, maybe do a different program next time. I'll let you guys know with information on when. It'll be the same time frame, just a different program instead of ARC. Maybe it'll be EDA with Eli or transportation related with Stephanie. Just to keep it going. It's good to have these hours. You can ask anything and learn whatever you need to know. Ginger, I hope that helped with you too.
I'm going to throw a
It
precursor
did. I
out
appreciate
there.
all the help.
Good.
You're welcome. We are going to host a CDBG informational training session, whatever we're going to call it. I don't know what we're calling it yet, but we've got the director of the I know they changed the name, but it was Office of Community Development. We have the director and we have one of their staff members coming down. That's going to be April 9th at 10 a.m. here at our office. We are going to also offer an online option if you just can't make it in person. They're going to go over all of their programs that are going to be coming out here soon. I think it may already be out by the time we hold this, but they're going to go over all of their projects that they have, or programs that they have available. And then at that training session, they are also going to, if anyone feels like they need application help, maybe even like step-by-step how to fill it out, they're going to schedule one-on-ones at that point with whoever feels that they need the application help. So April 9th, 10 a.m. here or online, the CDBG office will be presenting.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Put it on my calendar, but I'm sure you'll send out something to register by.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, guys, have a great Monday, or not Monday. What is today? Wednesday
It's
morning.
It's not
Wednesday.
Monday.
I don't want to redo the week. It's Wednesday.
Good way to end on a laugh. See you next time. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.